It's done. It's finally finished. I don't have to build here anymore. Okay, there's really no need for me to be this dramatic. I finished building a sanctuary is all I'm trying to say. So just a quick recap. For the past 6 or 7 months, I've been rebuilding Sanctuary for the Minutemen, and a few ideas behind this were to keep everything as lore-friendly as possible, have all the buildings and everything just make sense in terms of structure and overall purpose, and also try to tie in different elements of the game like Nuka World, Far Harbor, places for some of the companions, stuff like that. Now, a couple of things to note. First off, I could have continued building here for another 6 months if it wasn't for frame rate and the possibility of my computer catching fire. So I didn't get to include everything that I wanted to, but I feel like it's at a really good stopping point right now. And another thing, this is part 1, so I'm going to take you through half the settlement and then do part 2 and take you through the rest. I didn't really want to break it up into multiple videos, but there's just so much to cover and it would have been a really long video if I didn't. But alright, let's get into it. So I built a wall out of these tall junk fences that go all the way around the settlement, except for the front part, never mind this dead body right here, that has these containers. Now most of our attacks happen near the bridge, so I added in these containers to use as guard posts and another layer of protection. Not to mention they look pretty badass, let's be honest. And up here is Jeff. He's our first line of defense. He operates the door, allowing people to come and go.
Gatekeeper.
Okay, fine. He's the gatekeeper, essentially. And as we go through, you can see that we're still not actually inside of the settlement. This is just the staging area, which you guys haven't seen me build, but the idea is that in case Jeff doesn't do his job, we have another barrier to get through. But we also have a nice spot for traders who are just passing through and need to take a load off, which I guess that means Preston, right? You know, I can't even deal with you right now, dude. But yeah, it's a nice little setup. We don't charge them anything. It's just an area of refuge as they're passing by. But for everyone else, they have to stop in this house, which I turned into a Minutemen recruitment office, which is very similar to the Covenant, where you have to answer questions and go through the whole screening process. But we do have some pamphlets on joining the Minutemen and a place to sign up if you wanted to, or you can speak to the receptionist, who is not at her desk for the tour. Shocking! And I turned these rooms into where the screening process actually takes place. So it kind of, see how much radiation you have and just kind of see who we're dealing with. And for those who want to join the Minutemen, we put them through a stress test to see where their physical ability is currently at. But once you go through this whole process, you get clearance to go into the actual settlement. And the first thing that you're going to see is a smaller version of Hotel Rexford. And this is one of our main attractions that draws people in, or on top of the roof, I guess. But yeah, this is where we get a lot of caps from, so we put a lot of resources into making it look appealing, and I thought it was so cool. Son of a bitch. So I assigned the Vault-Tec dude to the front desk to make it look like he was running the show, because we find him in the actual Hotel Rexford and Good Neighbor and convince him to go to Sanctuary. So I thought it'd be cool to build one of these and assign him to it as a nod to that part of the story. But of course he's not here, so it kind of ruins that. But up here is the best part. This is where the rooftop bar is. It's a nice little spot for people to watch performances and have some drinks to escape the emotional turmoil of living in a post-apocalyptic world where you could die a very gruesome death at any given moment. And wow, this tour really took a heavy turn there. Anyway, so I added in a few things to make the settlement look a little more realistic, like these forklifts and cranes. And yes, we got them to work. I mean, Sturgis can build a damn machine that teleports me into the Institute, so I'm pretty sure he can get a forklift to work. And over here, I put in some generators that connect to power lines that go all across the settlement. And I really like the way the power lines came out, because they fill in the road to make it look more realistic, but also not so barren. Alright, so this house, this is our first residential area, and it's geared more towards our middle class, like the average settler. And it's pretty nice, they have an open community area, and all of these rooms have been turned into small apartments. Okay, basically just a bedroom, but they have a kitchen and bathroom out here, which is shared amongst everybody. And out back is pretty cool, so they have a tight-knit community back here. And these are all houses, but most of the residents sell something that they make, like armor or weapons. So these aren't really shops, but people are welcome to come in and trade as they please. And it's just a nice cozy area back here. Just look at the frame rate just dropping. It does that in certain parts. I think when there's more lighting or I don't know. There's just so much stuff in this settlement, you definitely have to expect the frame rate to drop a good bit. So this house is the high school, if you couldn't tell by the big ass sign that says high school, and connected to it is where the teachers live, and they share this pretty nice condo, which is a lot bigger than what a lot of people have here, and they basically have everything that they need. God, this is like a ghost town. I have at least 30 settlers, and I've assigned them to a lot of the places that I'm showing you, but nowhere to be found. Maybe some of them are in here. But so this is a school. The first room is a daycare for the really little kids, cafeteria over here, and then they're learning a lot of good stuff. This is mainly for Preston, how to not be annoying. And yeah, this was designed for him, but of course he's not in here. And then this one is a good one, how to not be like Preston. So it's valuable information that these kids are learning that's going to teach them skills to help them not die in this type of environment. And oh yeah, back here is the recess area, so we have a nice slide and everything, which I'm just now realizing doesn't make too much sense for a high school. So okay, well, it's for the daycare. Let's just say that makes sense. It's for the daycare. Alright, so General Atomics, this is our manufacturer, our factory warehouse, and we bring in all of the resources that we scavenge and turn it into materials that we can use to build certain things. And see, there are supposed to be a lot of robots here working, but of course no one is here. Oh, look at this guy, holy shit, finally. What's up, man? You look kind of bummed out, you alright? Alright, I guess I'll just keep going. So the conveyor belts on the left send materials to my robot workers on the top floor, who turn them into resources and send them down the conveyor belts to the right. Whose balls are these? I'm assuming they're supposed to be on the conveyor belts, but they are not anymore. So I'll have to clean that up later. Come on, boys, get it together. And back here is the path to Vault 111, which we scavenged from a lot, so that's why we built the factory right here. It's just a straight shot to Vault 111, and why are there more balls out here? I don't understand. These are supposed to be coming down the conveyor belts, and oh my god, what the fuck? Oh man, okay, so there's a machine that you attach to the conveyor belts, and you can put a bunch of resources. My god, you can put a lot of resources into it, and I put, apparently, a lot of steel to create steel balls. And how far do they travel? Jesus Christ. Okay, so I put a bunch of steel into it, and the steel balls were supposed to be coming down the conveyor belts, but they are here now. Anyways, moving on. Across the street, we have a red rocket, which I know is a kind of a stretch as far as having this lore-friendly, so this is one of those things where it's kind of not really, but just use your imagination. So I built this for the Atom Cat's Garage, and I really like those guys a lot. It was a really fun story mission that I did. So I dedicated this whole area to them. It's essentially a scrapyard, so they sell various materials to whoever needs it, and they have a pretty nice setup over here. And across the way, I turned this house into a hospital, again, if you can't tell by the big ass sign. And this build was more experimental. I tried to repurpose most of these houses in a realistic way, but also to where they look really cool and different from each other. So I decorated the inside with the bare minimum supplies that a hospital would have. It's probably not my best build or decorating, but I think it gets the point across. And upstairs is where I built the doctor's office and their living areas. And I mean, it looks alright. It was just tough to build onto these houses, make it look realistic, believable, but also have a pretty cool design. So right in the middle of the settlement is the police office, with Mama Murphy standing on top of it. See, that's the worst thing about building. No matter how awesome the build is, settlers will ruin it. They'll just stand there like zombies, or just be on the roof, but look at you sitting where I assigned you. Okay, alright, so it balances out, I guess, but you still have a good chance that they're going to be doing something stupid. But this is Preston's office. He wanted to run the police department, so I said, have at it, give him something to do, so he will leave me the hell alone. I am all for it. And back here is one of my favorite parts. I don't know why, but it just came out really cool. So this is the police training area. So we got target practice, more or less, over here, and then on the back side, just a workout, kind of, I don't know, training area. Sure, that makes sense. And up top is where Preston lives, and I like building things kind of elevated, so this was a lot of fun to build. But this is his RV. It's nice and secluded, but still close by. And son of a bitch, the door went through the light. I saw it, but I'll fix it. Don't worry. Now I'm not going to go through the main character's house because I really didn't add much to it. I just decorated it just like the pre-war version, so there's not much to see, but I do want to take you through the parts that I added. So this is the chill spot area, and in the back is a garage that is decorated just like the main title screen. I thought this would be a fun build to do and a nice little Easter egg, but essentially this is the garage, the workshop area, and then the first part is more of the man cave. But this is a good stopping point for part 1, halfway through the settlement as promised, and part 2 will be up next, hopefully in the next couple of days. Now, I didn't go through every part of these builds, but I've made videos on just about all of the structures in this settlement. So if you want to see how I built something or a more thorough walkthrough, I created a playlist for all of my sanctuary builds in order that I built them. So the link to the playlist will be in the description, and you'll be able to find whichever build you're looking for there. But thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think so far. I really love hearing from you guys, and I try to respond as much as possible. I'm a little more active on Twitter, so definitely follow me on there at Cordless VII. And if you want to see more content like this, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.